We're live. It's Monday. It's 12:30. It's live on LinkedIn. And every single week, I sit down with somebody and have a chat about their business and find out how they're visible and what they're doing to be visible. But the other thing we need to be thinking about is our numbers and how we're doing with our business. So this week, I have got someone who knows a little bit about numbers and money mindset and freedom and stuff like that. But I'm going to get her in to talk to us about it because I don't know much. So where is Tracy? You there, Tracy? Come on in. Hello.
Hi, Ashley. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Great to see you again. So little secret. Tracy and I, we are accountability buddies. We meet up every single Monday and just have a little chat, a moan, a shout, whatever, and help each other with our business. And today you're coming on to help everybody with their business, aren't you, Tracy?
I can try.
Oh, awesome. I love the enthusiasm. So for anybody that doesn't know you, Tracy, who are you, where are you, and what do you do?
Oh, wow. So I'm Tracy Irwin, and at the minute I'm in Spain, in Alicante, and I am effectively an accountant. I ran an accountancy practice from 2002 when I set it up, and I sold it in 2024. So now I help business owners to live the life that they dreamt they would have when they started their business.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? We're sort of like, oh, we're going to make loads of money and we'll set up a business. Doesn't work like that, does it, Tracy?
No, not quite. I think a lot of people start with the wrong end in mind. They think about the business first instead of thinking about what the life that they actually want to live and then making a business to match that. So that's kind of where I start with people rather than the wrong way around.
Hang on a minute. I think that's what I did as well.
I did it. In the accountancy, that's exactly what I did. I started my business in 2002 and then watched it grow to the point in 2016, I woke up head of a monster. I had a really successful business. And from the outside, I looked like I had everything, but I was miserable.
And so was that where you sort of thought, hang on a minute, what am I doing here? And is that how it's led you to this? Because accountants do all right, don't they? They've got regular income, regular clients. Why would you want to step away from that and do something different?
Yeah, I think about accountancy that I absolutely loved was the residual income. So back in 2002, I already had a subscription model going. I never charged by the hour. It was always, this is what it's going to be per month. And I think, a lot of people didn't do it back then, but it was just came naturally for me. And because of that, we know our numbers quite easily. It's a lot easier than other businesses. When I grew, I thought I should lead by example. So I was always the first person in and I was the last person out. Everything came through me. And I realized it wasn't the life that I wanted to live. I loved looking after the clients, but I thought there must be a better way. And the hardest person to admit it to is yourself. For me to say, I'm not happy when I'd created all this abundance and stuff was really difficult. So my granddad passed. He was 94. It wasn't a tragedy. But it was one of those moments where you go, actually, there's something not right in my life. So it didn't happen overnight. It took me 12 months, but I processed the entire business to run without me. I got a divorce and with 2 suitcases, I moved to Spain.
Whoa. When we lose somebody that's special to us, we do stop and reflect and things like that. So yeah, that was a pivotal moment. So I totally understand that. And I think thanks that you said he had a good life and he was 94. It's not like you said. It's not like, oh my goodness.
No, it wasn't a tragedy.
But it did stop Tracy in her tracks and think, hang on a second. And so hang on. You said that you got a divorce and then left with 2 suitcases and went to Spain.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Well, a lot of it was embarrassment because my marriage had only lasted for 4 years. And a lot of it was, I felt I was a very young parent. So, and I don't regret having my daughter. I was only just turned 19. I don't regret it, But I knew, I'd say to people when I was younger, if I didn't have a leg, I wouldn't be here now. And they'd used to laugh at me and go, yeah, whatever. But deep down, I knew it. I knew I had this nomad type gene inside me. But because of my responsibility, which I did not mind at all, I was still in my hometown. But as soon as she went off to university, that feeling just became bigger and bigger because the responsibility wasn't particularly there anymore. The responsibility was the business. It was my second child. So it's kind of, but that was fixable. But I had to admit it to myself first before it became fixable. So that's kind of why. And yeah, I've been in Spain for 10 years. So
fantastic. And how warm is it out there at the moment? I've got to talk about temperature being in the UK.
Well, it's been nice in the UK as well, hasn't it? It's 32 degrees here today.
It's 32. So it was 32 here last week and everybody was moaning.
But it's different. I'm sorry. 32 here is nice. 32 in England is like you're sat on Mars. It just hits different. So I agree. When people say, oh, it's too hot. Yeah, it is. It's a totally different heat here. It's the humidity, I think, that goes with it.
Right. Okay. Because I am freezing now, and it's 22 degrees in my shed. It was 34 last week.
Yeah, but 22 degrees in normal, you'd have gone, this is quite nice today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no sun. I think that helps, doesn't it, when there's a bit of sunshine? And I guess you get an awful lot of sun there.
Yes, it did. So I drove. Go on, sorry.
Go on. No, you drove what?
I drove my car. So I've got a new English car because, like, I'm starting my new chapter in a couple of months. I had to go to England and pick it up and bring it back. And when I got off the ferry in Santander yesterday morning, it was only 19 degrees. It was totally foggy. It was trying to rain and everything. And then as I drove down, I got to Zaragoza and it was 32. By the time I got down to the coast here in Altea, it was 36. Like literally, I went through the whole different temperature yesterday.
Fantastic. That's 4 seasons in one day almost, isn't it?
Almost.
Yeah, superb. So let's get to these numbers. What are the freedom numbers? So here I am 5 years in, and I still don't know what the end is. And you know, I set this business up because I didn't want another boss. I've had 30 jobs in my life, and I've worked for everybody. And so I set myself up to help people, and here I am 5 years in. I still don't know the end. So you know, I've got to start somewhere. So how do we find the end? So
for me, it's the freedom number. So what you need to do is look at what your perfect life looks like in a week, in a month, like what your actual ideal life looks like. And then you need to work out actually what do you need to get from your business, not what your turnover is, what you need to take out of your business to be able to live that life. And then once you've worked that out, then you can actually look to see how many clients you need every single month to live the life that you want. It isn't about turning over millions. It's about having choice. So it's what your perfect life looks like. So for me, mine is just being able to work like where I want, when I want, and with who I want. That's my entire choice. The actual turnover amount doesn't actually come into it. It's how much I need to take out of the business. And all I work backwards is work out how many clients I need to be able to live that life. And your life changes. So your freedom number changes. Every time you have a change in your life, your freedom number is just about living that ideal week in, week out, forever.
Okay. So as you know, in a few weeks' time, my daughter's going to have her first child, our second grandchild.
Yeah.
So I'll probably want to spend a little bit more time with my daughter and the little one, and so therefore, I've got to start working out then. So how do I do that, and what have you? So that means giving my VA a few more hours or reducing some of the work I do. But then I've got to then I haven't got the money, and so sitting down and just plotting this out, sitting down with my wife and having a chat with her. Is that what you would suggest?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would look at like how many hours you do have to work, actually how much you want to bring out of the business to do that. So divide it by the hour. So you know what your hourly rate kind of is. work that backwards, because obviously if you're going to pay your VA more money, then the turnover needs to be more, which means you've got more clients to find. So it's about working backwards so that actually your picture is just one thing every week. I need X amount of clients, and once you've got your rhythmic acquisition of a client, so once you know how many clients you need, then you need to know how many conversations you need to be able to win those clients. And then you need to know what kind of marketing you need to do to be able to get those conversations in the first place. And then if you can do that top level, you know exactly what activity needs to happen in your business every single week. Suddenly your business runs itself, because the laws of averages always work down. So it's understanding that. And when I work with people, always do this first. This is the first thing. I don't ever say, what do you want your business to look like? I say, what do you want your life to look like? That's my first question. And then once I've worked out what that is, then I can look at the business structure and say, right, okay, so you need to turn over X, which means this many clients every single month for you to live that life. And quite often they go, I don't want a business that big. And I'm like, well, with the structure that you have right now, that's what needs to happen. And I think that's the problem of what happens with business owners. They think about the business first, and then they think about their life second. Whereas actually, if they just thought about their life and worked out what that business looks like, they'd know whether they want that size business or not. And then they can find a model that works for them.
Okay. But if they end up with a business that size, then you put the right people in place so that you still get your freedom. Is that right?
Yeah. So there is so quite often two different kind of people come to me, and they are either, let's go with a chiropractor, for instance. So the chiropractor might come to me and say, I've got no time at all. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to work in the practice, but I've got all these other things to do that aren't part of why I made my business in the first place. And then what we do is we structure their business so that they can continue to work in the chiropractic business, and they have help by outsourcing everything else so that business runs. The other type of person could be exactly the same chiropractor, but they say, actually, I'm finished being a chiropractor now. I'm ready to be the business owner. So I want people in my business that I can outsource to that do the do, and then I can concentrate on building this business. And they're very different people, but the answer is exactly the same. And it's finding out their numbers and understanding those, but then putting systems and processes in place to make sure consistency happens throughout the entire business.
You make it sound so simple, Tracy.
But it is. Business is simple. It's not. It's hard. It's hard work. But actually, the business structure itself, it is simple. It's just, it takes hard work to do it.
And so what sort of things are you seeing people get wrong on a regular basis?
The biggest one is when they just throw money at marketing first. So that they see the pot go down in their bank and they've not got a lot of money. And what they'll do is they'll just throw everything at marketing. Let's take on more people and we'll get more money. But actually, if their business structure financially doesn't work, the only certainty is they're just going to go bust sooner because their numbers don't add up. So it's like, that's the point. It's like looking at the wrong thing first. And the two foundations are definitely understanding your numbers, but actually prior to that is understanding your own mindset. Because I've watched so many people when I owned the accountancy, like I could tell them all the numbers they needed to know, but something just didn't switch for them. They couldn't make that happen. And I never understood why until I did my own money mindset journey. So I went on the money mindset journey for myself at first. It wasn't for anybody else. It was because as an accountant, I was embarrassed to say I hadn't looked after my future self. And I didn't understand why. Like, why as an accountant who should have known better, not protected myself into my 50s. And I'm not embarrassed anymore. I totally understand. It was my 7-year-old making decisions for me in my subconscious. So it's the practicality of understanding that. But actually, then when I was starting to learn it, I was like, this is why so many of my clients didn't become like financially successful, because they were sabotaging themselves. And because your subconscious has one job, and that's just to keep you safe. And that's all it was doing to me and to these clients. So that's why I started bringing money mindset into my teaching, because I understood that if without that being fixed, we could teach everybody everything and they would still hit a ceiling.
Yeah. So we need to improve our money mindset before we start doing any of this.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. And what's all this about the 7-year-old me?
So everything we heard and listened to as a child sits in our subconscious. We don't know it's there. We just do know that you've got a money story. So everything you saw, all the influences you had as a child, this is what happens. So they make business decisions for you. You don't even know you're doing it. So every business decision you make, your 7-year-old subconscious is actually is making it for you, unless you're self-aware. So you've got to make yourself aware of your money patterns and your money habits and your money stories from when you're a child. So that's kind of one part of it. The second part of it is understanding your money personality, because there's 6 types of money personality. Now, it isn't about trying to change your money personality at all. You just have to learn to balance it out, which is what I teach about balancing out the money personality so it actually works for you. And the third part is about understanding that many people hit a ceiling because they're scared. It's the fear of success. Fear of success is as big as fear of failure. So, and it's understanding what those things are, what we heard as children about what's going to happen once we become wealthy. So, and those 3 things together, once you've got a grasp of that, then financial abundance will just start to come, because you can stop things happening before they actually start.
Yeah. Okay. Ray's just dropped a comment, so let's just bring that up. You may look at your core skills and block off 2 days a week doing that and only that. This will normally give you 47 focus days, and work out how much you plan to make in a year. Divide your focus days into this. This allows you to properly plan ahead, calculate what type of clients are profitable. This allows you 6 to 8 weeks holiday per annum. Wow. And he's saying that you should check your figures every single week.
Yes. Every week you need to check your figures. That's a good process, that, Ray, to be honest. It's understanding, like, you know, what you want to earn yourself and like how many productive hours you have. For me, I tell my clients, you are lucky if you've got 4 productive hours a day, because other things fill that in. And one of the first things that we do is I've got a spreadsheet that I ask them to fill out for a week of every single 15 minutes of a little alarm going off, and they fill out exactly what they're doing so that they can actually see how productive they are. Because most people think they're productive all day because they've been at it all day, but it's impossible to be productive for 8 hours a day.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, we think we're doing loads of stuff, and then we look back at the end of the day like, there's so many things. Which is why it's great working with you every single Monday, Tracy, because we do keep each other accountable, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And that's
another embarrassment.
Sorry, say that again.
I don't want that embarrassment of having to come on Monday and tell you I haven't done something.
Yeah, absolutely. And but this is the thing. We are our own worst nightmare, aren't we?
Well, it is. Like, when you become an entrepreneur, it's great because you've got nobody telling you what to do. But actually, that's the worst thing, isn't it? Because actually, you've got nobody telling you what to do. You know, you've got to be disciplined, because especially when you work at home. You know, you haven't got this, because, like, obviously some entrepreneurs have meetings all the time. So, like, I don't know if you're a hairdresser or a nail technician, those kind of things, they fill their diary. So they have to be productive for those hours. When you sit in an office like you and I, nobody else sees us. Like, how hard sometimes could it be to think, I've got to go to work? You know, I mean, I absolutely love just walking in here. It's not very far at all, but you know, it must be hard when you're in a position that you're not enjoying. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the key thing, is just sort of like coming in and saying, right, I need to do this, that needs to do. And it's what moves the needle. Mondays are always busy for me because I do this, and then there's other things that come off the back of that. But, you know, you and I, we have a one thing we've got to do in the week. I've already done my one thing.
Me too.
So wow, that's brilliant. Like, that's half a day and we've done it. But I did have a couple of other things as well. So I've got to do those as well. But that's the thing. and I know on Monday if I haven't done them, I'm going to I'm letting myself down, and you're keeping an eye on me. Ray's just said, thanks for the insights. It can all be changed with goal setting and deep meditation. So there you go. We've almost run out of time. What things should we be doing after listening to this, watching this today? What's the top tip that we should be taking away from this, Tracy?
I think so. The biggest one for me is actually understanding what your ideal life looks like. Don't make your life around the business. Make your business around your life. That's the one thing. Like, if anyone's curious about the money mindset stuff, I do a monthly money mindset sprint. It's 90 minutes. It's really interactive. It's totally free. So if anyone's curious, then I'd love to see them there. If not, there's many books about it, about negative self-talk, all the money mindset stuff. Just pick up a book and start just to be a little bit more self-aware. And get your accountant to ask your accountant to understand the numbers that really matter in your business. So like what your break-even point is, because once you know that, you can actually use that to help you get your freedom number, by the way. Like what your lifetime value of a client is, what your free cash is in your business, the things that actually matter to a business owner rather than just the stuff that comes on a P&L and a balance sheet. There's more, by the way, there's 6 numbers too.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Have we got time to go through those or not?
It depends. No, maybe not. Not if you we could talk about visibility.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So what are you doing to be visible?
So I concentrate on speaking arrangements, webinars, podcasts. I use other people's audiences. Similar to what I'm doing today, I guess. That class that, we're friends anyway, but, it's kind of understanding that I need to get hold, because my social media, for me, is just proof that I am an expert. So that's what I use. I don't use it as a selling tool at all. I use it to give advice and content, and hope that people see my personality on there to know that I'm a friendly person. I'm not scary.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ray's saying that your enthusiasm will conquer all, and that's the thing, isn't it? If you're enthusiastic and passionate about what you do, that attracts people to come and see what you're doing and what have you. So your money mindset thing that you do. We'll put the link in the comments, and that will also be a link. And so if you're listening to the podcast, scroll down and you'll be able to have a link there. Just click on that and you'll be able to go and see that. We also do Roast My Post on my show every single week. And this is where I roast one of your posts, find out how it's going, and understand and give you some pointers. Have you got any posts you'd like me to roast, or any comments you want to make on that, Tracy?
Well, I do a Monday Muse every Monday, and it's something to do with what happened to me in the previous week. So last week's was interesting because I'd gone to the bank to pay some money in and they wouldn't take my cash. So that got a few comments on there. So you can do that one if you like.
Yeah, let's do that. And so just going to hit this. Do you like that?
Proper jingle.
I know. That's the only reason I've done it. So what we've got here is a video of you chatting away. Tell us a little bit about what you're saying.
So I had to go and pay my car tax, and I went into the bank and he said, we can only take payment for that on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. And Spain's always a bit weird anyway. I was and it talks about friction. So I said, what? That was so unnecessary friction. You could have made it so much easier. And then I just always give a little bit of a question to say, what kind of friction are you putting into your business? Because obviously that's a help when I do the customer journey with my clients.
Good for you. And it's great to see a video because we get to see the real you. We get to hear the real you. We get to feel the real you. So what's your thoughts on this then? Because you got 11 comments, 30 likes. I think that's really good. There's nothing to roast here, is there?
I still find though, I like putting the videos on. One, because I find it easier to talk than I do to write. So videos are really good for me for that. for that process. I just find it more cathartic to help that way. But also, like the social medias always say reels are doing so much better, but I'm frustrated with LinkedIn sometimes because my single posts still do better than the videos do. And it's like, but you're asking us to do video. So I'm still going to do it purely because that's the way I prefer to actually give my content out. And carousels and stuff take so much time, whereas I can just get a video and just record.
So basically, you're walking your dog here and you're holding your camera.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And so I'm getting to see the real Tracy. All right.
Yes.
Now I might see the real Tracy and think, oh, I don't like that. That's great, because then they're not going to, you're not going to work with them either. All right. But I do see the real Tracy, and I look forward to this video, and I can see what she's up to, and oh my God, what a silly thing that at the bank, all that sort of stuff. Now, there's one thing that you're not probably looking at here is if you click on the analytics button, and I can't see it here, but if you click on the analytics button of that video, it then opens up and tells you how much watch time you've had on that video. And that's the key, not the impressions or the likes. What number have you got? 47 minutes. So nearly an hour of people eyeballing you. Okay.
Considering it's only 60 seconds long. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So nearly an hour. That's like you being on stage for 47 minutes doing a talk.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you've got to remember. Okay. And what we're seeing the real Tracy. All right. And we're starting to understand her and all those sorts of good things. So please keep doing video and don't be despondent. Don't be despondent. Don't be despondent by comparing it with other types of content, because you're not comparing with other types of content. You're comparing it with video. But what you've also got to remember, all those people, I can see that you've got 11 comments. I can't see the impressions. How many impressions?
Oh, it was only 367.
Right. Okay. Could you imagine 367 people in your living room right now? Okay. And that's the thing. And then also it tells you how many people have actually watched that video. It's those people that are taking a proper interest in you. Now, to get that sort of interaction with people, you'd have to go to quite a few networking events. And this was just a little video you did while you were doing your walk. So it is
and it isn't just working on LinkedIn either, is it? It's on all the different platforms too. So accumulate that
and maximize that, because that's the thing. The bottom line is people are seeing you, and you're showing up regularly, giving a quick look through your content. You're there multiple times a week. So multiple times a week you're going, hi, it's Tracy, and all you're doing is you're planting seeds for future growth. So no, that's great. Well done. Keep it up.
Thank you.
We all know you're visible because it's all working. So that's superb. Tracy, I love these shows, but I'm going to speak to you next week anyway, so that's absolutely fine. But where can people find out and get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm just doing a website rebrand right now, so it isn't what I want it to be, but it is tracyirwin.co.uk. The Money Mindset Sprint's there. You can buy the books. So the 1, 2, 3 book is about how I managed to systemize the business, the accountancy, and then move to Spain. So if anyone wants to read that, it's actually for July, it's going to be 3 years old. That's the one.
This book here.
So that's my story of how I managed to move to Spain. It's going to be free for July because it's 3 years old. So
and it's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, if you want to add to over 2,000 people have read it already, then just if you want to wait for that, I'll be on my social media. And the other one is the Money Mindset Transformational Journal. And that's the journal that I wrote to help people to understand themselves and how to balance their finances.
Perfect. Tracy, helpful as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Before I say goodbye, I'm just going to give a shout out to Sarah Farmer from Brighton Brilliant. So she talks about imposter syndrome. And a few weeks ago, she was actually chatting to Jeremy Vine on BBC Radio 2. And now she's hit the pinnacle. She's talking to me next week. So looking forward to seeing her next week. Tracy, thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you to everybody else for comments. Thank you, Ray, for getting involved. And we will see you next week. Cheerio, Tracy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to my show this week. I want to bring to you people that can help us running our business. I love having a chat. I'm very nosy, very curious, and I'd love to ask questions. So if you want to be a guest or if you've got some ideas for guests, let me know. And if you want me to help you with your LinkedIn, get in touch, because I want to give you a voice. Now, that could just be using LinkedIn, but I do other things as well. So I can help you with a podcast, a live show, and all kinds of other amazing things. So get in touch. My name is Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy, and you can find me on LinkedIn.